welcome to New York's Divine Channel. You can have it all. Today's topic is how to heal your body with quantum healing. And I know that the word quantum healing is something that we haven't heard of all of our lives. It's just been a word that's been popping up over the last few years, quantum, and we're all wondering, what exactly does that mean? In fact, the doctors have gotten involved now, and there are even medical doctors that write books about it. Quantum physics is something that has been wildly accepted for quite some time, but now quantum healing has gotten involved. And what does that all mean? Well, it means that with your body, you can make miracles happen by using your mind to accomplish it. Quantum is about being able to change the energy, the vibration, and the frequency of something and use your mind to do it. And it's exciting because hypnotists have been teaching about this for at least 40 years. Hypnosis has been well understood by the small sector of alternative healing professionals over the last 40 years. And in the last 10 or so years, the big movie stars and Hollywood people have made hypnosis become a true understanding that it really does work. They have been talking about how they use self-hypnosis in order to get into the part that they need to play and to heal their lives. Most movie stars, actors, and actresses will tell you that they had some type of a trauma in their childhood that caused them to learn how to disassociate from who they truly are and become somebody different in their mind and then hence in their reality. And that's why they are able to play such amazing roles in Academy Award winning films. So when they started using the hypnosis in order to play a different role in the film, and they were educated by the hypnotist who was able to tell them that you can use this to heal your body, your mind, or your spirit, it became well aware that this was a reality. There's so many people who know how well it works to use your mind for healing in those capacities, but you can also use it to heal your body. Okay. So if you do a little bit of research, the word quantum pops up a lot around Dr. Chopra, Deepak Chopra. And he does have a new book out right now called Quantum Body. So you can do a lot of research if you want to. It's a new way of understanding how you can change the particles and the DNA and the makeup of your physical body by using your mind to do it. So I've been teaching this for many years with my hypnosis, my neurolinguistics programming as a certified consulting hypnotist and master teacher neurolinguistics programming practitioner. We teach in our certification course how to work with our clients to get them to shift their thinking, to shift their mind, and to use their imagination. So when you use your vivid imagination and you draw pictures in your mind of a mind movie of seeing yourself in a new reality, maybe seeing yourself walking very healthy, very quickly, and very happily down the beach, for instance, holding hands with your true love, the man or the woman of your dreams. And at the moment, as you use your vivid imagination to see that, it's not your current reality, but it is what you are choosing to manifest and to co-create with divine to make your new reality. So when you do a vivid imagination and a mind movie and create that picture in your mind, what it does is it programs your subconscious mind, which is 95% of our mind, The conscious mind is only 5% of our mind. And go ahead and Google that and do some research if you have not already taken my course on becoming a certified divine channel NLP life coach. The NLP stands for Neuro Linguistics Programming. If you haven't taken that training yet, go ahead and do some Googling and look up how 95% of our mind, the subconscious mind, controls all of our emotions, all of our feelings. And guess what? It creates our reality. So if we feel like, for instance, let me give you an example. If we feel like everybody that we're trying to interact with is going to do something to us that's going to be harmful, they're going to take advantage of us, hurt us in some way, then we will start drawing people like that to us. Now, there's good news and bad news from this quantum healing story that I'm telling you, because it's all about quantum physics. Because when you make a different picture in your mind, your subconscious mind actually shifts and begins to shift the entire chemical makeup of your brain. It starts to shift the DNA and it starts to make you become that person. So if you are always picturing that and then imagining that, you become that. Whatever you think about most of the time, whatever you envision most of the time, meaning the majority of the time for yourself, of your life, of who you are, then that is who you become. So if you want to become somebody different, you have to use the quantum healing, the quantum physics, which is, of course, the self-hypnosis, to write a new DNA formula for your mind. And I'm saying that because people that have decided to try it and do an experiment, even for just 30 days, see huge shifts and changes. However, if you do an experiment for 1 year, I promise you, you won't even recognize yourself next year at this time. So I'm going to challenge you guys, everybody who's watching live, as well as those that'll be tuning in later on to the recorded show in the archives of our TV show. I am going to challenge you to give yourself a 12-month challenge to spend at least an hour every day envisioning and seeing your life as you choose it to be. So whatever shifts that might be, it might be physical shifts because maybe you need more health and energy. Maybe you need more vitality. You want to feel strong. You don't want to feel weak anymore. And you would like to be energetic. So what you're going to do is envision yourself doing the things you would be doing if you had all that energy and all that health and wellness. See yourself maybe playing and frolicking at the beach with your family, jumping in the water and swimming. See yourself going on the different vacations that you choose to go on, or doing whatever you would be doing if you had all the energy and health and vitality that you would like to switch up to. Okay. What's going to happen is there's going to be a chemical change in your brain. It's going to start shifting and rewriting the DNA, and your body will physically begin to become a new form. So it's not just about reprogramming your thoughts and reprogramming your mindset and the patterns and programs that are running through your mind. It's actually about rewriting the chemical makeup of your body. And people who have used this over the years will swear by it. People who have chosen to only think about and obsess about what has already happened in their life or what they're currently going through know that all you get is more of it. So if you are not happy with a certain portion of your life, most people have certain parts of their life that they're happy with, and then other parts of their life that they're not happy with. So of course, the areas of your life that you're doing well in, that you're satisfied, of course, we don't have to work on those, but think about the area where you do want to shift it. Maybe it's in the area of relationships. It could be friendships. It could be family, biological relationships, or it could be romantic, looking for the right one in your life romantically. So if it's that, then work on visualizing the relationships. See yourself having a good relationship with your mother or your father or your children or your friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, whomever. See yourself in that amazing romantic relationship with the perfect one for you, living the life of your dreams, and visualize that at least 1 hour every day. It does take a lot of self confidence to allow yourself to dream big and think big, because there's a part of us that wants to pull us backwards and say no, because I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to feel like, oh, I didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. So you have to be brave enough to say, no, I'm going to give myself a chance. I'm going to let myself dream big and see my life exactly the way I want it to be. I'm just going to let myself do that. And the permission, giving yourself permission, is the biggest job you have out of all of this. That's even more of a job than spending 1 hour a day visualizing yourself as you choose to be, the life that you choose to have, the energy. You might be visualizing yourself looking younger if you would like to look younger. Maybe you're visualizing yourself being thinner because you would like to release weight. Maybe you're visualizing yourself being a non-smoker because you want to quit smoking. Or maybe you're visualizing yourself being a healthy eater and doing your yoga 3 times a week in the morning time. It starts in your mind. Everything comes to fruition first psychologically in our mind. So first you have to have the psychological change or the psychological transformation. And once you've decided to give yourself permission to psychologically go there, dive in, and let yourself have a chance to succeed. And of course, others would say, and a chance to fail, right? You're giving yourself a chance to either succeed or fail. Well, I'll tell you what, you will succeed if you give yourself an hour every day. And you can do this while you're driving down the road. If you've got a 30-minute drive to work or to go pick up your children from school or to come home from work, you can do it while driving, as long as you're not using some kind of an audio recording that has a hypnosis part to it that can put you into a deeper trance. We don't want to go into a deeper trance. We just want to go into a daydreaming mode, but the kind of daydream where you're still easily able to drive your car. Don't do anything that's too hypnotic while driving your car. And that usually involves a body relaxation state where we go into a deep relaxation. You don't need to do a deep relaxation or a mild trance in order to do the daydreaming. Daydreaming is what we do when we're in a meeting at work or at school and we're just bored to death and we don't want to be there. So we start thinking about the vacation that we're going on and we start imagining ourselves on the cruise ship or on the beach or whatever. And we're not even in class anymore, or we're not even at the meeting. And then they usually call out your name and say, hello, hey, back to us, earth to you, come back to us. And you can get caught daydreaming, right? It's also what we do when we're trying to escape reality and we're worried about what's going on in our life right now. So we start thinking about something that we would choose to rather think about. That's actually a good thing. Now, when I said that there's the good news and the bad news, okay, I'm going to give you the bad news first, then I'll give you the good news. The bad news is for all of us, including myself, who've had crappy things happen to us, and we've gone through a bad episode or somebody's hurt us, if we allow ourselves to think about that, and we do, you can get flashbacks. So if you haven't done any deep trauma release work, if you haven't done any NLP work or hypnosis work to release it, these thoughts can come back up every day and haunt you, almost like you're being harassed by them. And if you don't use self-control to push them away and say, I acknowledge you, I recognize you, I know you're worried for me, because we've had bad things happen with friends before, for example. If that's what it was a friendship that went bad, you have to tell your subconscious mind, I know that. We've had that. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm pacing the relationship. I know that you're worried because I have a new friendship, but I am aware that I'm not going to trust so easily. I'm actually going to give it time and get to know the person. And there's a really good book that teaches you how to pace a relationship. It is written about romantic partnerships and how to pace a relationship in a romantic partnership. However, you can use it for any relationship. You just would eliminate the final step, which is the touch step, because if it's not romantic, you're not going to be touching them probably. It's called How to Not Fall in Love with a Jerk. And the tagline is the foolproof way to fall in love without losing your mind. Because oftentimes when we first fall in love, we lose our mind. We're rushing to spend a lot of time with them and thinking about what we can do next with them. And sometimes we get into a relationship too quickly. So there's a really nice way to pace it out. I love this book. If you're trying to figure out how to fall in love without losing your mind and to not fall in love with a jerk, then get that book. It's again called How to Not Fall in Love with a Jerk. The foolproof way of not falling in love without losing your mind. Get that book. I'm being guided to tell you that because knowledge is power, and you can then make really good choices. So with all of that said, let's go back to, I know that some of you are going, wait a minute, I had no idea that you could actually change your physical being, your DNA, and your physical makeup and become a new physical organism by using your mind. Oh, yes, you can. I've done it many times myself. I have healed myself physically. And when I learned hypnosis, I learned how come it was working. I had actually been using it prior to taking the course to become a certified consulting hypnotist back in 2015. And one of my healer teachers had suggested that I go and get the training because I was doing it without really fully knowing and understanding what I was doing. And hey, had I put the knowledge behind the gifts and abilities, then magic can happen. And that's exactly what we do. Exactly what we're going to be doing tonight at the Happy New Year Rejuvenation Breakthrough Party. So anybody who's up for a good Happy New Year party, and those of you who are wondering, hey, where is her hand going? I don't have my green screen up for the virtual background. And we're practicing with virtual backgrounds in my new media course because I'm going to the next level with my TV show and with my stage performances. So I'm also in coaching, getting some new training. And the green screen doesn't quite fit in the office the way I have it set up right now. So stay tuned as I reinvent my office and am able to use the green screen and practice with some of the other virtual screens. I'm at the baby stages of it right now. So yes, the hand just disappears, which is kind of funny. Now I'm doing magic acts to go along with everything else. So if you are getting excited about this and you're going, oh my God, I want to know more about this quantum healing. I want to heal my body. Well, you can not only just heal your body, you can heal your mind, your spirit, and change your whole life. So if you're looking at your life right now going, okay, I'm happy with this section of it, like finances and money, I'm doing good there. That's good. Relationships, no, that's the area I need help. Health, I'm good in health. My body's doing well right now. I want you to look at the compartments of your life. So take a minute and just look at the different compartments. Most people look at their financial and career as one area, their physical, mental and emotional and spiritual health in another area. And remember, don't just look at your physical health. Look at your mental health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health along with it. So body, mind, spirit, health. And then look at relationships. Those are three very, very large categories of our life. And I think most of the other categories fall underneath one or more of them. And I might be simplifying it too much. I'm sure some of you who are very analytical and detail oriented are going, oh my God, Camille has just separated my life into three components. That's very, that's very simplified. It is, but sometimes when we simplify things, it makes it easier to shift and heal and transform. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick example because we have a few minutes left for the recorded part of our show before we go into the interactive part where we turn the recorder off. And I'm going to be doing some of my Dear Camille free readings and healings and coaching again today for the interactive component, where a lot of people turn their videos on and come in and share time with me. And if you've got questions today or you need healing today, I definitely want you to join us for the interactive portion that's coming up in a few minutes. But to wrap up the training part, because this is the training part on healing your body with quantum healing, I'm going to give you an example of how I did this for myself years ago. And I've helped so many people with their lives over the last 20 years in my business. I had broken my wrist and I was rollerblading, and I ended up having to have a full cast on my wrist. It was a nightmare. It was actually on my right hand, and I'm right-handed. And my son was quite young, so trying to do laundry and dishes and drive and taking a shower, you had to put a plastic bag over your arm. It was just a nightmare. And I had the cast on for the full 6 weeks. So what I had done is I had been doing a lot of reading about quantum healing and metaphysics back when this happened. And I think that was about 2007. Yes, that's when it was. I remember now very clearly. So that would have been, see, 13, like 17 years ago. I was doing a lot of reading about metaphysical healing, quantum healing, and I had told the doctor when he was putting the cast on, I said, I'm going to do some metaphysical healing on this and I'm going to use quantum healing. And he was like, all right, what is that? So I explained it to him the best way I possibly could. I said, I'm reading about this stuff and I'm going to try it out. And he goes, well, I would be very curious to find out how that works. Good luck with that. And he was a little bit kind of like rude, but trying to be polite. He looked at me like I was a quack. And I had a little bit of I think because he looked at me like I was a quack and gave me that side eye and good luck with that lady, I'm going to prove him wrong. Now for sure, if this works, it's going to work for me. So it was the first time that I intentionally said, I'm going to figure out how to make quantum healing work. So what I did is I knew that you could, from all the reading I had been doing, I knew that if you did the exercises in your mind that you would have to physically do in physical therapy once you get the cast off, what it said is that it was going to work. And that even though I didn't physically do the exercises of maybe like the twists or they were going to have me moving my finger like 10 reps of this and 3 times a day. So I went and I brought the x-ray that they had given me to my friend who was a physical therapist and actually ran 3 or 4 different physical therapy offices at the time. She was one of those directors that was in charge. And I said, can you look at my x-ray and tell me when I arrive at your office after my cast is taken off, what exercises are you going to have me doing to rehab my wrist and my hand and my thumb? Because my thumb was also broken too. So I said, I want to know exactly what you guys are going to have me doing when I show up here and what homework you're going to give me to do when I go home and how long are you going to have me here and the whole 9 yards. So she was like up for it. I told her what I was planning on doing, that I was going to visualize the exercises in my mind since I wouldn't be able to physically do them. I would be in a cast. And she loved this idea. She was like, "Oh, this is a great experiment." So she read the x-ray. She told me, she showed me everything I was going to be doing. And sure enough, that's exactly what I did. I did the 3 reps. It took about 10 minutes each day. And I did them all in my mind. I just sat there and I saw myself moving my hand and doing the exercises. So when I got my cast off, sure enough, my hand was doing really great. And they do a motion, range of motion check to find out where you're at when the cast comes off. And they were pretty shocked. They were like, "What the heck? Like, you seem like you didn't have the injury." And they were like, "Well, okay, it's probably because you're on some pain medication." They kind of just fluffed me off and sent me home and gave me my prescription to go to the physical therapist. And they were going to sort things out over there because they thought I was taking too much ibuprofen, or I had taken the Oxycontin that they had originally given me in the beginning, even though I wasn't supposed to be. They're like, "Are you still taking your Oxycontin?" And I'm like, "No, I would never do that. You guys told me to only take it for this amount of time. And I know it's highly addictive, and I'm not turning into a heroin addict. I'm not going to take that longer than you told me to take it." Well, they didn't believe me. They looked at me and like kind of like, "Okay, lady, whatever." They all say that. And they just gave me my prescription and sent me home. So then I went to the physical therapist probably about a week later and had my evaluation. And that's where they have to take the range of motion test and then start giving you your exercises. So it was a gentleman, and he tested my range of motion, how far I could move my thumb, and how I could move my wrist and all of that. And he was like, "This is perfectly amazing. You're not supposed to be able to do all that." And I had not told him anything yet. I didn't describe that I was doing this experiment with quantum healing or metaphysical healing yet. I just pretended I was a normal patient doing my thing, showing up and getting my test. So when he said, "Are you taking Oxycontin right now? Like, how are you able to do that? You're not supposed to be able to move your hand like that." And I said, "No, I swear to God, I'm not. You could take a blood test on me if you want to. I will tell you what I have been doing though." And he's like, "What?" He goes, "Pull that x-ray." He had the nurse go and get the x-ray, and he had to look at it again because he couldn't believe the injuries that the x-ray showed, and that the 6 weeks on the cast had produced this range of motion. So after he got done confirming, yes, the x-ray is exactly what he thought he looked at before he came into the examining room with me, he then said, "Okay, what are you doing?" And I said, "I've been doing the metaphysical healing experiment, the quantum healing, where I visualized the exercises." And then I showed him the exercises I had been doing in my mind. I told him who my friend was, and he knew who my friend was, who had been the director at a bunch of other physical. He, not that he knew her very well, but he had heard of her and he knew the company that she was the director of for physical therapy. They just hadn't actually been in the insurance brand that I was in. That's why I didn't end up getting to go over to my friend, which I was fine with. Insurance was covering it. So he's like, "It worked." He goes, "There's no way." He's like, "I'm perfectly amazed. Can I bring a few of my friends in?" He's like, "This metaphysical." He goes, "I've read about it." He goes, "I actually read about it. I had some curiosity with it, put it in the back of my head as, oh, maybe I should try this, or, maybe have a few clients or patients have an experiment with it." He goes, "But I really just kind of clucked it over on the storage shelf of my mind and didn't really do anything with it yet." He goes, "Here you are showing me what it's capable of doing." And he says, "I'm perfectly amazed. I'm super excited about this." He goes, "I am now going to start recommending this to people who want to hear about this idea. I'm going to start doing way more research on it. This is totally cool." And again, this was 17 years ago. So I want to share that with you because now I want to make it about you. What do you want to change in your life? It might be physical, but it might be mental and emotional, and it might be what you're attracting. Because again, back to what I said, if you keep focusing on how you've been hurt before in the past by somebody, what you'll do is you'll draw more people to you that will hurt you. So the big thing you have to do is have enough self-discipline and enough self-control to use mind control with yourself and not let yourself continue to think about it. You have to shift it. And when you catch yourself going, oh, remember when she did that and that and that and that, and then my whole life fell apart and blah, 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 blah. Okay, you can't do that. You have to catch yourself and go, or when you say, oh, I remember when I was sick for 5 weeks after I did that or that, because you're traumatized by physical illnesses. You might have had a physical illness once when you were 10 years old and you're still recreating it in your life over and over and over again because you're so scared to be sick. And that's why you keep getting sick. That's what quantum healing is all about. All right, join me in the interactive room. I'm going to change over and see me next week, Thursday at 11 a.m., same time for Quantum Healing Part 2. I'm actually going to be covering the topic again next week, Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come in to the room next week, join us for the training, and then do another interactive with free readings, healings, and coaching. I will see you then.